Good morning everyone, my name is Yvonne F. Maxilom and today I'm going to report the continuation of the Internet and the World Wide Web. So let's begin. What computers do on the Internet? So computers do different jobs on the Internet. Some computers work like electronic filing cabinets that store information and send it when clients request so. So these are called servers. A server is a computer that is designed to process any request for data and delivers data to other client computers over a local network on the Internet. So, ang server daw is basically a dedicated computer nga ga-provide og services on behalf of clients such as ordinary desktop computers or workstations. So, ang server kay centralized machine where multiple clients connect to, either sa internet ba or sa mga local area networks, and they connect to a server for a specific service. For example, katong service kay pang-retrieve sa website, ang isa kay pang-access sa data or email, and so on. Now, a server could be a dedicated to handle one of these services only kung asa isa ra ang imong server na dedicated for website, one server for data storage, and a server for email. Ug kana nga model, mauna ang ginagamit sa larger organizations or pwede japon ka mag-set up og server nga pwede mag-handle ato nga services on the same machine, which typically happens sa mga small organizations. So, depende ra po na siya sa setup nga gigamit o depende ra sa needs sa organizations. So, for the next slide, a client is a computer or device that gets information from a server. So, any computer running with special software can function as a server, and servers have different roles to play. So here, there are two actors, namely client and server. So ang client daw mauna ang computer or devices. So ang client, siya ang ga-send og request and ang server kay gi-return og appropriate response. For example, ang browser kasi client, then mag-send kag request sa akong page like mag-access ka. Then ang web server kay si server. So ang server, naminaw siya sa akong request og return to the page to the browser. Okay? So a computer that holds the user's account, computer accounts, organizational units, and application services is called the Active Directory Domain Services or the ADDS. So kani si Active Directory Domain Services no, ang purpose niya ani is to improve the security, manageability, and scalability of window networks. So the reason why the ADDS hold users account, computers account, and etc. because it is the most efficient and secure way to manage these objects on a window domain networks. So another machine that helps the dynamic host configuration protocol or the DHCP server is a server that configures IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, specifically in giving names to each IP addresses up to its root recognition, which is called Domain Name System or the DNS server. So kaning DHCP no, it only works using DHCP server to maintain pool of IP addresses that can be assigned to devices on the networks. So when a device needs an IP address, mag-broadcast dayon na og DHCP request message sa networks. So, ang DHCP server, mag-respond dayon na sila og DHCP over message nga ga-contain og IP address og other network configuration parameters sa device. Og ang device, i-accept dayon to niya ang DHCP over message og i-arrange ang IP addresses and other network configuration parameters like kaning DNS server addresses. So, tagaan ta mag-analogy, no, para dali ninyo masabtan ang DHCP. For example, sa restaurant na ay limited number of tables lang. So, if a customer arrives, the restaurant host greets them og i-assign sila sa table. So, ang host, sila ang gatrack sa mga tables nga nagamit na o katong tables nga wala pa nagamit. So, ang DHCP server, mura siya restaurant host kay ginatrack niya ang IP addresses na in use and not in use. By the way, ang IPv4 and IPv6 mauni ang two versions sa Internet Protocol or the IP. Ang IPv4 mo na siyang older version, dahil ang IPv6 mauni siya ang newer version. So, the domain name system server, siya ang responsible sa pag-translate sa domain name into IP addresses. So, the DNS is very important, no? Because gina-allow niya ang mga devices to communicate with each other using domain names, which are easier to remember than IP addresses. So the DHCP and DNS servers works together to ensure that devices on the network can communicate with each other using both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. So another machine that holds and manages documents is known as the file server, while the other one that holds users' mail services and web services is referred to as web server the second. Yes, it is correct, no? A file server is a computer that stores and manages files so that dali ra siya ma-share sa other computers on a network. While the web server, siya ang ga-store o ga-deliver og web pages sa other web content users over the internet. Okay, a device that connects printers to client computers through the internet is called a print server. It accepts print jobs from the computers, queues these jobs, and send them to the appropriate printers. So I know you're all familiar to printer, no? But still, I'm going to discuss a little about this one so you could understand. So ang print server, no, is a device that connects printer to client computer over a network. So ga-manage sa print server, no, og mga complex printing tasks like multiple printer at once or like printing double-sided documents. Okay, for the next slide. Beside clients and servers, the internet is made up of a hardware device designed to receive, analyze, and send incoming packets to another network. This is called router. So the router can be compared to a simple mailbox placed at the corner of a street and which represents your single point of entry to the worldwide network. So I know you are all familiar sa router, no? Since most of us kinaamay computer devices both home and school, but naapod uban sa ato nga not familiar sa router. So ang router, it is a networking devices that connects two or more networks o ga-forward og data packets between computer networks. So router are essential pod, no, because they allow data packets to be routed between different networks, regardless of the type of network and the physical distance between the networks. Okay, for the next slide, the World Wide Web. So the World Wide Web, or the WWW, is referred to as the collection of public websites that are connected to the internet worldwide together with the client computers, which include personal computers, laptops, iPads, and cellular phones that access its contents. So the WWW, or the World Wide Web, is a collection of public websites not connected to internet worldwide. So users can access these websites using the client computers such as computers, laptops, iPads, cellular phones, and open it through web consumer. Okay, next, the web technologies. So the WWW, or the World Wide Web, is considered to be one of the applications in the internet and computer networks. This is based on three fundamental technologies that are said to be part of the WWW development. First is the Hypertext Markup Language, or the HTML. So HTML is a standard markup language used for creating web pages. HTML is classified as the set of markup symbols or codes appended in a file intended for presentation on a World Wide Web browser page. So kaning HTML is suited for creating web pages, and it consists of series of elements, which are the tags that are enclosed in angle brackets. So HTML is very essential to WWW, no? Because if kabalo lang ka sa proper coding sa HTML, makaka-create na jud ka og web pages nga gakakita nato sa internet. Second is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or the HTTP. HTTP is classified as the set of standards allowing users of the World Wide Web to interchange information seen on web pages. Port 80 is the standard port for HTTP connections. So, pasabot sa HTTP, no, ga-allow do siya mga computer nga mag-exchange og information over the internet. It is a request-response protocol daw, meaning that a client send request to a server and a server mag-respond siya with requested information. So, ang HTTP, it is used to transfer a variety of different types of data, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, video, and audio files. So, ga-transfer po siya og data for other web applications such as email and social media. So, kaning port 80, no, mauna siya ang standard port sa HTTP. Connects, meaning if ang web browser mag-send og request sa web server, gagamit siya og port 80. The third one is web servers and web browser. It is a software application for recovering, presenting, and navigating information resources on the World Wide Web. There are different browser applications that are currently used in the WWW, such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Safari, and more. So, ang web server, it is a software program nga ga-share o deliver web pages to users over the internet. And ang web browser, ga-allow siya sa mga users nga mag-view og web pages. So, ang web server o ang web browser, they work together to allow users nga maka-access information sa internet. So, next, the World Wide Web today. So last March 12, 2017, the WWW, or the World Wide Web, turned 28 years old. A milestone that recalls the invention of the WWW, which has changed humanity forever and developed a new virtual world within a generation. It is observed and shown that the way the web works is reasonably simple, having its four basic stages: connection, request, response, and close. So, the first stage is connection, no? So, kani siya kay ga-establish daw ni siya og connection between the client og the server. So, this is done daw using the TCP or the IP protocol. Next is request. So, this one, ang client daw ga-send og request sa server. So, kana nga request ga-contain na siya og information such as the URL of the web page being requested og the HTTP method being used. Next is the response. So, ang server daw kay mag-send daw siya og response sa client. So, katong response ga-contain daw to siya og requested web page og other data. So, ang last is the close. Once ang client ma-receive niya ang response, close na dayon ang ilang connection together. So, the first stage is where many users access the browser, such as Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox, some of the most used browsers to connect to the web server. Browsers work by using a unique protocol known as the HTTP, which demands a particular program text from the web server. So the text is actually written in HTML format that informs the browser on how it will display the text on the user's screen. So one of the most important terms to know is the Uniform Resource Locators, or the URLs, which is sorted as the internet address. A URL contains four parts, namely the protocol identifier, which indicates the protocol to use, the domain name, which specifies the IP address where the resource is located, the path, and the file name. So, kaning URL, no, mauni siya ang location of resource on the internet. I know familiar na mo aning URL since mauna atong gagamiton pang reference. So, kaning identifier, ga-specify ni siya sa protocol nga gigamit or gi-access. Ang domain, ga-specify sa computer or network. Ang path, kaysa location sa resource within the domain. Lastly, ang file name, of course. According to W3 Counter, a free unit counter that offers website analytics, Chrome is the most used web browser with 60.6% share as of March 2018. Among web browsers in the list are Safari, 15.4%, Internet Explorer and Edge, 7.6%, Firefox, 7.2%, and lastly, the Opera, 2.9%. Searching for information on the web. A website is maintained by its owner, called a web administrator. So, kaning web administrator, no, siya ang responsible sa maintenance o keep up sa websites, like installing and configuring, creating and managing, and etc., etc., etc. So the owner can modify the website contents as well as add new information in it. However, no single organization controls addition, deletions, and changes to all websites. This means there is no single repository for all the websites found on the internet. Several companies, however, maintain organized directories of websites to help people find information about specific topics. So the reason why there is no single repository for all the websites found on the internet, it's because it's decentralized, meaning the internet is not owned or controlled by any single entity. It is made up of a network of networks, each of which is owned and operated by different organizations. Also, the internet is constantly changing and websites can also be hosted on variety of servers. So there are two mainly managed search tools that people use in locating information on the web. First is the subject directories and search engines. So subject directories are developed and maintained by human editors and not by electronic spiders or robots that are used to fetch web pages automatically. So this one daw, it is organized by human editors into categories and subcategories which make it easy to find information on a specific topic. While the search engine, on the other hand, uses small programs called spiders or bots like Googlebot, Yahoo Slurp, and MSN Bot that polish the internet, follow links, and return information to the search engine's indicator. So kaning search engine, no, gagamit daw na siya og algorithms to crawl and index the web. So kani siya kay ga-allow daw na siya a vast number of websites, pero ang resulta niya kay less relevant sa imong research. Kay robotic naman siya. Okay, for the next slide, there are several techniques that can be used to improve web searches, such as using specific words and placing the most important terms first in the search text or phrase. Yes, jud no, if mag-search jud ta dapat atong words kay specific, kay the more specific, the more relevant ang results nga mugawa sa internet. So second is using quotation marks to create exact phrase. This helps the search engine find what it is looking for by using the exact sequence of words. So if na kay phrase nga gipangita, you should put quotation mark no para maka-create ka og exact phrase ug makakuha ka og results nga relevant pod sa imong research. And the third one is listing all possible spellings, for example, organization and organizations. In addition to searching for web pages, no, many search engines allow searching for images, new articles, and various reports in different formats. One of the most popular search engines now is Google. An overview of some of the most useful Google search tricks released in 2016, from basic tips to new features. First is use quotes to search for an exact phrase. Second, use an asterisk within the quotes to specify unknown or variable words. Third, use the minus sign to eliminate results containing certain words. Fourth, search websites for keywords. Fifth, compare using versus in-depth analysis. Sixth, use define to search for the meaning of words, slang included, dictionary definition of a word. Lastly, search using the Google Lens. So that's all, everyone. I hope you understand my report about the continuation of the internet and the World Wide Web. Thank you and God bless.